I promise you, we were really trying to do a Google Hangout, but it didn't really work out. And there's this VOD burner program that could have worked, but for some reason my computer rejects it. So, you've got your second installment of Owen and Ashley Talk WWE Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm here.
Ashley's here. He's just via Skype, and his voice will be the only thing you're going to hear from him. You're going to get to see me, and I'll be like, duh, while Ashley's talking.
I don't know. I might make you laugh.
We'll
I might make you cry. I might do both.
Might make you hurl, too.
Get prepared, people. Money is on the line. No, it isn't.
Not to my knowledge, it's not.
Between me and my imaginary friend.
Pardon my...
Little Jimmy for copyright reasons, so I call him Little Big Stevie Cool.
Little Big Stevie Cool, right on. Alright. So is it Hollywood Chevy Nova?
I completely forgot that one. Was that a Podcast is Jericho thing?
Yep. I thought it was an appropriate line. Okay, so first off, I'll apologize for my voice. You know my immune system's all messed up, so I've been a little sick. I'm not, I've progressed to the phase of my throat sore and I have sinus issues, so my voice sounds a little bit crappy, but we'll get through this, don't worry.
At least you're not on Michael Cole level.
No, I'd love to eat an F5 from Brock Lesnar. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but then face a barrage of hate on the internet because you were diagnosed with the same injury that the late, great Pero Aguero Jr. got.
Yeah. Wow, great job, WWE creative staff, for paying attention to real-life events.
I didn't notice that, I think they mentioned it on SmackDown, and I was going...
Yeah, I believe so.
What?
Yeah.
Just because it's a thing you've heard recently in the news doesn't mean... And then obviously, he's recovering.
Mm-hmm.
So, does that mean Matt Hardy has to go after him because Michael Cole's going to have a t-shirt that says stronger than death? I don't know.
It's been downgraded to a bulging disc in his neck.
Which is more sensible.
Yeah.
Because it isn't disrespectful.
No.
And also, it's probably a legitimate injury you could probably get.
Oh, yeah.
Not knowing how to take an F5. So.
Yeah. Well, I thought this episode of Raw was really interesting given the fact that it had a new show open.
Well, to some extent.
Don't forget, I've been off Raw since December, so last week was my first one in months,
yeah,
so...
There were some adjustments, like, obviously, no AJ.
Nope.
The thing that I found the best, despite what happened last week, Brock Lesnar is still in your intro.
I like Neville being in it, too.
I miss that bit. I just love the fact that, what he did last week was so heinous and vile, according to the company, but he's still in the intro, sticking his tongue out.
It's what's best for business, after all.
Or didn't anybody notice that in the graphics thing?
I really don't think they pay attention.
The latter, because somebody's going to get fired.
I don't think they pay attention anymore, to be honest.
They clearly did, because the rumours were Michael Cole was going to come back, stronger than death, as I previously mentioned. And they did the sensible thing and had the three-man team, JBL, Booker T, and Byron.
Byron's a lot better when he's on a team, honestly.
Yeah. Throwing him in the deep end, he isn't Joey Styles.
No, he's not.
He couldn't do it on his own.
No, he couldn't.
And the way that he seemed to... He really gelled a lot more tonight with JBL and Booker T and all their stuff. The whole direction that they... It was understandable they had to take the direction of, oh my God, Brock's attention,
Yeah,
Brock's
of course.
actions had to seem suspended. But then, 10 minutes later, JBL goes, who cares? Michael Cole isn't here. Well, we're living up to that gimmick. Not?
Yeah. I'll say right now, as a commentator myself, personally, I don't miss Michael Cole at all.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You know, the idea is when you attack the commentator, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Unless you're Michael Cole,
True.
In which case you suddenly become the good guy.
Brock Lesnar, top face of the company. Why? Not anything he did at WrestleMania, not anything he did the night after in the ring. No, the only thing he's famous for right now is the fact that he F5'd Michael Cole.
And announced the first unofficial DLC for the new GTA 5 game.
Oh boy.
GTA 5 Suplex City, bitch.
Which you'll be talking about on Gaming with Ash somewhere now from never.
Yeah. Coming out April 1st, 2060.
Yes, indeed. So, real quick before we get started, there's a couple of things we want to talk about that have happened in the world of wrestling since we last chatted with you guys. Number one is the one that's not many people are talking about, and the other one is something that everyone's talking about. Obviously, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that CJ Parker requested his release from the company.
Nobody's talking about it because really he wasn't doing a whole lot in NXT, if we're being honest.
Well, okay, first off, I'll tell you right now, I didn't give the guy a shot starting out. It took me a while to get into the guy. But he's got underrated mic skills. He's decent in the ring. And on the indies, he's got a claim to fame. He broke Kevin Owens' nose.
Yeah, in a botch.
Of course, but it's still the indies, so you can use that to get yourself over.
Yeah, but to be honest, considering the other news that came out this week, that Nick Gage is out of jail.
Yes.
I'd say that's more imperative.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God, yes.
That's more imperative to CZW than what's happening at Best of the Best 14.
There is a lot of CZW that's going to be mentioned in this video.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, there is actually. So, I've seen all the messages, the Facebook messages, the tweets and everything. Some people just don't care. I get that, clear as day. But I'm interested to see where he goes from here, honestly. It's when someone leaves a company for whatever reason, it's always interesting to see exactly what their next step is going to be.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the reaction Drew Galloway is now getting.
Yeah.
Not just because he's joined TNA, but there's a lot of people saying he's the Davey Richards. As in, he has a match and then takes 14 hours to put them over on the mic after the match. Which he did all last weekend, and even on I managed to catch one of the ICW shows from last week.
Yeah.
He even did it on there. And like everybody in the chat that I was watching it with was going, "Look, stop talking. You've said enough. We get the idea. Move on."
Wrestling matters, but talking matters more.
Yeah, but talking too much matters as well.
Yeah. It kills me every single time I do an Impact video because I'm writing for what seems like 6 hours before I get to a match. You can get carpal tunnel with Impact.
Coming up on this week's show, Bobby Roode and Eric Young in a submissions match. And then they announced a stipulation during the show as if to sort of establish you weren't supposed to know that, but they told you anyway.
Destination America and their wonderfully timed commercial breaks. Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Destination America and the company that apparently doesn't want TNA ever to go to the UK.
Which is where it's most popular.
Because it's Destination America. When, as one of my friends put, at least half of the TV productions that are on that channel are based out of Alaska.
That's good.
Betcha.
That's awesome. Obviously, the other big piece of news, other than Nick Gage finally getting released from jail, and the fact that the Chokeslam Backbreaker is finally going to go into indie rings again, is the biggest news, of course, of the retirement of AJ Lee.
Yeah.
That's interesting timing.
It's not that dissimilar to Michelle McCool.
Not really.
Because obviously she retired, I think it was Extreme Rules.
Something like that.
2-3 years ago, and that's when Karma made her debut and everything.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it. I know some people are on the internet are now trying to put her in the same boat as her husband.
Yeah.
And say that she's a quitter. If that's the case, does that make Beth Phoenix a quitter for wanting to start a family life? Does that make Trish a quitter? Does that make Lita a quitter?
It really depends on how you look at it, honestly. I can see it from both sides. And I'll say right now, kudos to her for getting one last WrestleMania payday before she decided she wanted to retire.
You know, she wants to have a fit and healthy life.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than be like Beth Phoenix, and to some extent Lita, and struggling with niggles and injuries that have been the effect of the long-term effects of her wrestling stuff.
You can't fault anyone for retiring.
Trish, out of the three that I mentioned, probably has had the least knocks and niggles and everything.
I'd say so.
I think AJ has got out when the time is right.
Oh, totally.
You know, sort of going on the edge route.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been nice to see her continue on, but if there was that one bit when it just went wrong and she gets injured, I'm pretty sure the WWE wouldn't like paying her, I don't want to say reparations, you know, compensation.
Yeah, of course.
Especially considering what her husband did. And what her husband did is completely different.
Yeah.
Her husband walked away and said nothing until he wanted to show up on a Colt Cabana podcast.
True.
Speak his mind, which he's entitled to, because by then his contract had expired. Clearly, AJ she might have had time left on her contract, but she just wanted to step away from the business at that moment. And, you know, if you want to step away for whatever reasons, I can't see it being properly labelled as quitter, because I don't think that's fair on both parties.
No, not at all. And, you know, I mean, there were still things that you could have done with AJ Lee and the company in a wrestling perspective. Obviously, the big match with Lita that she probably has been setting up ever since she was a kid. Always wanted to face off against her idol in the ring. But when it comes down to it, she pretty much has done all she can do in the women's division of WWE, and it's time to just settle down and start a family. She needs to be April Brooks, not AJ Lee.
Yeah.
And you can't fault her for that at all. I mean, I have friends that used to be in the wrestling business that didn't quit. I can't really say they really retired either. They just kind of stepped away because it was time to do something else. It's time to move on. And sometimes it is time to move on. Like, me, for example, I didn't want to move on, but it was kind of forced because of the whole fact of not having any place to work anymore.
Yeah.
But that's not the same case for most people. Most places, you could, like, throw a quarter and hit an indie fed. So, I mean, the rumors about AJ going to TNA or going to Lucha Underground or going to Japan, you know, honestly, even people are saying she might go do MMA. Whatever she wants to do, it's all her prerogative.
I don't think she's an MMA star.
I don't either, but I mean, whatever she does is her own prerogative, and if she decides she wants to do something like that, I mean, her fans, the people that understand her and respect her, will follow her wherever she goes, and if not, then it was a great ride while it lasted, and we've had some great times on the path.
Nobody. Another one I just remembered, Mickey James.
Yeah.
Nobody berated her for leaving WWE.
Nope.
Because she wanted the rights to her music stuff.
Yep.
But, does that mean she's a quitter? No. I don't think so. So,
no.
Yeah, whatever she wants to do, it probably isn't wrestling.
No.
It probably is just being, in the family way and all that.
Of course.
And also, being opposite Joe Rogan when Phil Brooks wins or loses his UFC matches.
Yeah. I mean, if people want to start a family, if people want to become quote-unquote, like, regular people, I mean, everybody is going to be recognized, obviously, whether you've been in the public eye for 5 minutes or 500 years. When it comes down to it, people are going to recognize you. It's just one of those things that's like, that time is over. It was great while it lasted, but now it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all her fans will understand, in the long run, maybe not right now, but in the long run, that this was the best thing for her personally, and the best for her, like I said, to start a family.
I know that some people were also going on the angle of, this was announced on WWE's website, so therefore it must be a work.
They did bring it up on Raw tonight.
Yes, well, they did bring that aspect up, but they didn't have the Bellas, cutting a promo saying,
nope.
She ran away and quit. Which makes me think...
Oh, it's real, totally.
To quote Mr. Angle, it's damn real.
Well, JBL himself, of course, is pretty much branded as the heel commentator anyway. He was the one, of all people, that said thank you, AJ, so obviously I don't think this is... No. I've been proven wrong before, but no.
So as long as he doesn't say Maggie.
Yeah.
Because then I have to bring out Rod Stewart and give him a royalty check.
So, of course, the new opening for Raw ends with Roman Reigns. Did it before?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the last few months.
Once again, you have to give me the benefit of the doubt here.
The only thing was Neville was in there. I don't know whether the Lucha Dragons were.
They are.
Brock's still in it, and AJ isn't.
Okay.
So they've already made adjustments here and there, even on last week's one.
All right, fair enough. I thought the music sounded different too.
Just a different mix, I think.
Okay.
Different mix that they've done for this time round. It's still the same tonight's the night thing.
Okay. So the show starts off basically with a big promo. Big Show standing at ringside beside his trophy. Seth Rollins is in the ring with J&J and Kane. Apparently Triple H and Stephanie are on vacation, and it's funny because all the accolades that are mentioned of all the great things the Authority did at WrestleMania are all went over, and then Rollins goes, and then there was Kane, and he was there.
Yeah.
Just like a t-shirt where you buy at a wrestling event. I was there.
Perhaps that's what Kane's next shirt should be.
I honestly think this is very, very slow build, but I think this is planting the seeds for Kane's babyface run before he retires, when he puts the mask back on.
For the 15th time.
Yeah, but there's really nothing else you can do with it. I'm tired of him looking like the deadbeat dad backyarder, okay?
That's funny, but fair.
It's true.
I know, that's why it's so good.
And then I could steal from 411 and call him Citizen Kane, which I like that too.
I was tempted to say Rosebud, but
Yeah, exactly. I don't see any lollipops around here. So, Randy Orton comes out, interrupts. He basically puts over the fact that the RKO was the greatest of all time. I still think it would have been better if it had been the Phoenix Splash of the RKO, but maybe that's just me. He beat Rollins at WrestleMania, so, of course, that means he should have a title shot. He pretty much deserves a title shot. So Kane's like, you know what? Fine. We're going to make a three-way tonight to determine who the real number one contender is. You face off against Ryback. Okay. To Ryback's credit, he really hasn't lost very much on television, so I guess that may be the reason why.
Yeah, but that still was a case of, that's a name I didn't think. But then again, the only two names that legitimately had a chance were Roman and Randy. That was the best thing about this match. If you were doing a alphabetical bet, you could just say a person with an R at the start of their name wins.
Randy, Roman, and Ryback.
Be done.
Yes. So the winner of this main event would go on to face off against Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event at Extreme Rules.
In to be determined stipulation, because it's Extreme Rules.
Exactly. Well, there's the catch. All three of them are in singles action right now. And the first thing that comes to my mind, and Ashley, I'm sure you're thinking the same thing. I was like, dear God, Kane, don't put yourself against Randy Orton. But you did.
That wasn't the one that I was fearing. Once we got after the match and we saw what was coming up, I was going, okay, Ryback, Luke Harper, that makes sense. Who's Roman Reigns? Oh no.
Oh, not again.
Not again. Not for the 47,874th time. It's 47,874th time.
Roman Reigns in the Big Show is this generation's version of Randy Orton and Christian.
It might be closer to Randy Orton's Cena.
Yeah. I think the Christian matches, there were more than that. Because don't forget, they faced off at house shows too.
I'm pretty sure Orton and Cena would have done as well.
Unless they had to do different loops in different towns. It happened once in a while.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that result like everywhere. It's like Randy Orton against Christian. I was like, not again. I remember recapping SmackDown. I was like, I think I've recapped this match 4 times this month. In one form or another, whether it was a tag match, whether there's multiple man, whether it was a singles match, I'm pretty sure I've referenced that match at least 4 times this month. And I was like, that's exactly what the same thing I've been calling for the last 4 weeks. I don't want to call this match anymore.
You're going to be looking forward to SmackDown then?
No.
Because this week you're going to be getting the match you should have got last week.
I like Wade Barrett though. Yeah, will it happen this week? Only time will tell. So, Randy Orton and Kane starts off the show, and immediately I'm like, because I don't care.
They didn't have too bad of a match.
But it's not bad. I mean, go ahead.
They didn't drag it on too long.
No.
They had the whole aspect of basically beating down on Orton to try and make him weak because he was priority number 1 that Seth Rollins didn't want to face because of what happened at Mania. And it was a nice little spot with a reverse chokeslam into the escaped RKO.
I thought that was a nice way to finish it too.
I was confused though as to why Kane had a headache, because he didn't really take that many blows to the head.
Yeah, no lie.
But we'll get to that.
So, like you mentioned, it is going to be Ryback and Luke Harper and Roman Reigns in the Big Show one more time. I'm really happy about something that happened in the show that we talked about off camera. We had a Brad Maddox sighting.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, we did.
That was... I really didn't expect that. Even sort of, there was a mini crowd pop you could hear from the reaction. It was like,
because they
know.
My
God, it's that guy. We can't remember his name, but he's back.
In Texas, of all places, too. And it's like, this isn't like a smart marky crowd. This is basically like a straight general public crowd. Like, oh my God, they remember who Brad Maddox is?
It wasn't smart Mark. It was just Mark.
Big time Mark.
That's the most pro-Reigns, pro-Cena crowd that there's been
in a long time.
In possibly this year, since, the turn of 2015.
Well, it's April now, so yeah, that's a fair assessment. So,
and of course, next week is going to screw all that up because it's London.
Oh, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that podcast.
We're at Mania 31. Are also going to be Raw and SmackDown next week.
I'm really looking forward.
Can't wait for the heavily edited sounding.
Do you get that? Do you get that feed live anyway?
Oh no. Sadly not. I wish it did.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Again, it did happen the last time it happened,
Mm-hmm.
12 months ago. Because the big thing with that was because it's fed directly to Stanford.
Yeah.
The people in the local area, if they've got the satellite dishes and tune it to the right channel, supposedly can get the feed.
Nice.
And the last time it happened, basically, they were trying to put over, I think it was the network so much.
Okay.
And basically, Cole called an audible and basically, you know, on the mic, because you were hearing all the talk to Vince backstage. And he basically went, you know, I'm not effing talking about this anymore. Don't you think I've said it enough?
I've seen those videos on YouTube.
I think the audio guy got fired for that being leaked out.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, but if somebody manages to pick up the direct feed again, it's possible, but you know, it's not shown live over here. It's not like the UFC shows or anything that are shown live. I don't think they're even shown on delay in America anymore with the UFC Fight Pass and everything. They just...
I wouldn't know. I haven't watched UFC in years.
They stick it on their online service rather than show it on tape delay.
I'll be honest. The last fight I watched UFC-wise was Brock and Randy Couture.
Man.
And before that was like stuff with Dan Severn and Ken Shamrock and Oleg Tektarov.
It's even further back.
That was back when I used to watch those pay-per-views every single month. Let's talk about Seth Rollins' wonderful promo here. I'm going to tell Triple H and Stephanie, and you're going to pay for what you said and what you've done. They're going to fire you.
Yeah, because, you know, Seth Rollins has all the control.
Yeah. But of course, Kane's in charge tonight, apparently. So, Kane's like, you know what? Fine, you want to play those games? I can play those games too. You got a match, and it's next.
Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, who could they put him up against? It's clearly going to be somebody big, so possibly a Mark Henry or, you know, an Eric Rowan, something like that.
I actually thought it might be Dean Ambrose.
Possibly, but you could actually see... I mean, okay, it was not until later on, but you can already see that the UK and European tour is in action.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god, definitely.
Stars were held back just for SmackDown, because I think they're going to be part of the... Well, I can't really call it the SmackDown tour, but it's that half of the roster. The main guys, like Rollins and Cena and the Bellas and all that, are coming to like the Raw equivalent side. Okay. The only reason I know that is because both Rollins and the Bellas are supposed to be at a technology convention that's happening at the NEC in Birmingham.
Okay.
Which is like a 5-minute walk away from the NEC arena. It's not called that now, but screw the sponsors. But yeah, the arena is basically on the same complex there, and it's happening Saturday. And that is, I think, the last show that the Raw side is doing before going to London. I think the SmackDown half might be doing a show on the Sunday. But then I don't know, they sort of go after, once they've done the tapings, I think they go off to mainland Europe, so they've got shows in France and Switzerland and things like that.
I know that Finn Balor is going over for the UK tour as well.
He might be on dark matches.
That's what I'm thinking.
Which is sort of sensible.
Yeah.
Also a shame, because damn it, I'm going to be so... Oh, no, because the WWE Network stuff, when they do the pre-show, it won't be live, so they won't be having the dark matches in the background on the tiny televisions.
Oh, man.
Yeah, spoilers for, I guess, Superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Axel faces R-Truth.
Oh, goody.
In the Who Knows Why This Is Happening match.
It's Axelmania.
I think Mania season is done with.
Yeah, now it's time for Extreme Rules.
Stop looking at Foley's bloody tweet.
He said it last week. I still think, I really love Foley's tweet there because he was putting Axel on everything. But
Axel ground.
He's wrong about SummerSlam, though. Obviously, the answer is you rename it Perfect Slam because it is a tribute to the greatest wrestler that ever lived, his father, Kurt Hennig.
No, he's the greatest wrestler that ever lived.
No, Kurt Hennig is. And I will go on record saying that.
Anyway, next.
Let's talk about Rollins and his opponent. So he faces off against Neville, man.
And the internet went, ooh.
The battle of the former NXT champions. The first and the longest reigning. It made perfect sense.
Yeah, the longest reigning versus the longest reigning.
Yes.
Or the second longest reigning, I guess.
For the people that have not seen Neville before, forget this. Neville, he's a Harry Potter character. Adrian Neville. Like I said, it's not get the F out, it's get the A out.
I can't wait for Balor to show up soon.
Balor! He's going to be feuding with Sheamus.
It's going to be Cena versus E.
Which stands for Epsilon if you go by his Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah, did you not know that?
He's been playing too much GTA 5?
Dude's a gamer from what I've heard, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, WWE is basically not get the F out, it's get the A out, because apparently first names that begin with A get completely sliced as soon as Vince realizes that they're called that.
Adam Rose, we're watching.
Yeah, he's next. I was just going to call him the Rosebud. That's what we're going to call him from now on, right? Sure. The Rosebud. Yeah, that's a great idea. Zack Ryder says as he laughs maniacally walking away from catering. So, faces off against Adrian Neville wearing his purple gear. He's got his AJ cape and everything. I like it. But the crowd was kind of half and half on him. It seemed like you had an NXT part of the crowd, but it seems like some of the people were like, who's this guy?
Well, he did have a Sin Cara-like entrance, and I think people were going, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then they realized, oh, wait, it can't be him because he's Lucha now.
Yeah. Just when Full Sail got tired of the Lucha Dragons, now you guys get them on the main roster.
Oh, trust me, I'm excited for them on the main roster.
I am too. Especially the matches against Cesaro and Kid. Those are going to be phenomenal.
Which looks to be the way they're going in a couple of weeks.
It has to be. There's no other direction to go. All they have to do now is win a contendership match, and I'm sure that'll happen within the next couple of weeks anyway. That'll happen on the UK tour if I had to guess.
Possibly. And Samurai Del Sol, as he formerly was known, that Lucha chant is suddenly becoming very useful to it.
Yeah, I just hope that they don't burn out like the Matadors did. I don't think they will, but WWE does not have good success with tag teams.
Yeah, the only reason I like the Los Matadors was El Torito.
Torito's great, but when your bull mascot is more over than your entire group, yeah, you're not You need to just stop. Take off the Tito Santana discount gear you got from a garage sale and be Primo and Epico again. Alright, let's talk about this match. For those of you that have not seen Neville before in the ring, this was a nice little showcase of what he really can do.
Yeah, it was just the right way to, as you say, show him off.
Yeah.
But it also left the sort of tease there as if to go, you never know if this could happen sooner rather than later.
It's true.
Certainly with the whole curb stomping him again, saying, I'm better than you, don't you dare touch me.
Yeah, I'm better than you.
Makes me wonder whether they're going, perhaps not even win, but insert Neville into Money in the Bank.
That wouldn't surprise me at this point. That would not surprise me at all.
The only problem is if you give Adrian Neville a ladder, he could do some crazy stuff, judging from his previous indie work.
This is true, and that's what makes me believe that he will definitely be in Money in the Bank.
We'll see.
I really like the way that this finished, too. We went finishers galore, but it wasn't overbearing. The turnbuckle powerbomb was countered with a Rana, sends him into the buckle. I thought that looked great. He hit the high kick, heads up top for the red arrow, of course. Referee gets distracted. Jamie Noble tries to grab his leg so he can't dive off. He gets kicked to the side. He leaps over Rollins. He hits the forward roll, and he gets a near fall off of that one. Ducks the round kick, goes for the Rana, gets caught, turnbuckle powerbomb, curb stomp, 1, 2, 3. So, I like that finish, actually. It worked really well. And Neville loses nothing from losing to the world champion. For people on the internet that were getting mad that Neville lost, seriously, man? Come on.
I was a little disappointed that in only his second match on the main card, he was going to be given an out.
Yeah.
Mainly because, when you see people come up before, even before NXT existed.
Yeah, exactly.
They normally had like a month of a winning streak.
True.
Against like mid-card or jobbers.
Correct. That's how you build people.
Yeah. But I guess they're that confident in his skills, or certainly Triple H is, that they feel that they can afford to give him the loss and he'll still bounce back from it.
He'll be fine.
I'm just wondering whether the actual master plan is for him to take on Cena next week in London.
It wouldn't necessarily surprise me if they went that direction.
Well, and make the crowd know who the face and the heel is.
Yes. The melodic chorus of Marks chanting John Cena sucks in unison is going to return next week.
Unless they heavily edit it out. Which, knowing WWE,
it could.
Easily possible.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Cena because that's a nice little segue to get us into our next segment. And John Cena Open Challenge continues. I thought at the beginning that this was going to be every week Dean Ambrose just keeps challenging him. And every week he gets a little bit closer, but he still can't get the job done. And they lead to a pay-per-view match. But no, this is basically going to be John Cena works the mid-card for fun. And he keeps the title because he has new merch powers.
Matches.
Huh?
At least they're getting matches.
They're getting good matches, too.
Mm-hmm.
I still hate the fact that Cena calls spots so loud. But... oh my god. But if you're not paying attention for that, or if you're not... I'm not saying I'm waiting for it or listening for it. It's just something that's pretty obvious, even if you're not paying attention.
Yeah. And then...
some people were brought up that way, though.
Yeah. The match itself of the two guys was, a very good little match.
I like this match.
Turns out, the interesting stuff didn't even happen before or during or after the match on television.
No, it was on the app.
On the app, yeah.
apparently after the match was over, which we haven't even talked about who Cena's opponent is yet, well, we might need to get into that. He faced off against Stardust, still looking like Mr. Sinister, which JBL said he looked like something from the Hunger Games. Maybe Cena designed his gear, you never know. Stardust... Yeah, exactly. I just use his character name. I know who Lenny Kravitz is. So, Stardust has no face paint because he worked a really solid match against John Cena and really gave him everything he had. Well, apparently after the match was over on the app, it has been mentioned by a couple of different avenues that Stardust is gone and Cody Rhodes is back. Am I hearing this right?
Yeah. And to think what could have happened if they actually went with a Rhodes family feud at WrestleMania.
No lie. Oh, man. Match over. They both have no paint left. They shake in the middle of the ring. Three-way hug with Dusty. They all go off together, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, then you could have let Cody be Cody.
Yep.
Because Cody is a really good talent. But
yeah, he is. Very underrated.
With the whole Stardust gimmick, it just seemed, wow, he's destined to be on the mid-card.
Yeah, unfortunately.
When Sandow won that Money in the Bank briefcase,
I was so excited.
People going absolutely ape for Cody because they wanted him to win.
Yeah.
It's probably the most over he's ever been.
I'd say so.
And again, I was going to say the same for Mizdow, or Sandow, should I say, but then Mizdow happened, and wow.
Well, like I said, this match was really good. Great back and forth match. Cena actually let Cody take a lot of the control in the match.
Mm-hmm.
He nailed the beautiful disaster kick, and Cena kicked out of it, and he hit the diamond dust out of the corner. Cena still kicked out of it. He went for a springboard Rana. Cena powerbombed him out of it. He landed on his feet on the AA, which is something people like to do now, apparently.
Because, easy on the legs.
Yeah, no lie. He nailed his Alabama Slam, got a 2 off of that, went for Crossroads, got caught Michinoku Driver, got a near fall there. Cena goes for the AA again, gets countered to a Sunset Flip. Cena goes for the Proto Bomb, the 5-knuckle ends up getting kicked away, boot in, and a spike DDT from Stardust there. Moonsault Press got a 2 count off of that, and he went for a very awkward-looking kick. Cena picks the ankle, goes for the STF. Stardust gets to the ropes. He kicks him off, nails Crossroads out of nowhere. Cena kicks out, and he argues with Charles Robinson about the cadence of the count. He goes for a springboard. Well, actually gets caught, and Cena nails that awesome springboard ace crusher he's using now, and hits the AA for the 3 count. Like I said, a really good match between these two. Like him or not, Cena can deliver in the ring.
Yeah. I don't like him, but the fact that he's sort of adapting new moves into his repertoire every once in a while to add to the so-called 5 moves of doom.
Yeah, totally.
Makes sense, because I love the fact that some people hate Cena but love Reigns, but arguably Reigns has only got 2 moves.
Yeah, 3.
The punch and the speed.
That drop kick to the side of the head while they're laying precariously across the bottom rope.
Yeah. That's about it.
There's no about it. That is it. He was using the backdrop Uranagi for a while, but he stopped using that.
Big Show did that this week, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So the Bella Twins are in tag action next against Paige and Naomi, who it really seems like the crowd wants to cheer for Paige here, and it looks like Naomi's going to be the one that gets the push out of this.
Yeah, I think Naomi's getting the angle.
Oh, for sure. This is definitely the match at Extreme Rules. I like to call this team the Punk and Funk Connection. Sweet.
She's Punk.
Yeah, close enough.
Her mum is more punk.
Agreed. I will say... I love the Bellas doing that sweet tandem slingshot suplex. I thought that looked awesome.
Yeah, the Bellas doing aerial moves. You know, that's like, you know, Eva Marie having a good match. I never thought I'd see it. Eva Marie, I probably never will, but, you know.
She is training with someone right now to get better matches, I believe, in NXT.
Or just to get matches.
Yeah. Well then, now that's been opened. I'll say right now, Ashley, I don't know if you agree with me or not, Naomi needs to slow down. Her pacing is horrible. She's way too fast. And when you work too fast, you screw up quick. And I'll tell you right now, that satellite head scissors looked really awkward.
That's what happens when you're married to an Uso.
Trademark Ashley Richardson. She nails the...
I didn't have to sing along, but it just makes sense.
I know. So, we get to the finish here. Ducks the forearm. Rear view connects. Brie makes a save. Paige kicks Nikki, and Paige spears Brie to the floor to get her out of the way. Naomi, of course, is left with the Divas Champion, and she hits her finisher, which the crowd, of course, don't care. The commentary team do not put over. And it doesn't look as good as it normally does. That side head scissors driver, basically, is what it is. Funk was not...
It just didn't seem as well executed as it has in previous.
No, not at all. It didn't have the snap to it. Even when she's using the split-legged moonsault, it still looks a whole lot better because she can do the real splits and she's not just doing an Arabian press like Sabu does, so...
It's Sabu!
Which I heard Sabu and Rob Van Dam had a great match against the Hardys over WrestleMania weekend, too.
No, I've heard otherwise.
Hey, I'm just saying what I heard. What I heard may not be correct. So we get the Primetime Players cut this really humorous promo on the New Day and the Ascension. I thought that was great. I love Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, always have. And they're just naturally funny.
My only issue with it was when they had, when they were dressed up as the Ascension.
Yeah.
And they said, "Aren't we over?" And then it was just crickets.
Cricket sounds, yes.
I was sort of going, is that supposed to be the Ascension or youth Primetime Players?
I've seen a lot of those shirts before, like when they first got them. I mean, a lot of people were into the PTP, but I don't know what they're like right now with the crowds.
The problem is, Titus was always heel, always heel, always heel.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, because of the revelation of Darren, and because I guess he felt, because I think he basically didn't get taken on the tour to the Middle East.
Yeah, correct.
Basically because they knew if they'd have gone, he'd have probably got death threats.
Most likely.
And, he was like, oh, they should have took me anyway. Well, considering that...
Yeah, that's a liability.
They aren't really liable for your safety because of the way these whole contractors... it was going to be at his own risk, and... Yeah, I don't think WWE were even wanting to try and do it. Mainly because they had Sami Zayn in reserve, and the Middle East loved their Zayn.
Up next, we had Luke Harper against Ryback. I'll say right now, Luke Harper is criminally underutilized in WWE.
Says about 90% of the internet.
I've been a fan of Harper for a long time, and it's a great time to be a member of the Age of the Fall right now. It really is.
Well, depending what Jimmy's writing, then
I think he'll be fine. At least he got a job with WWE. That's more than we can say about other people.
True, but what I'm trying to say is, if he's writing certain things on creative, but if it turns out he wrote them and they were like really, really bad things, then you're going to go, perhaps it wasn't such a good move.
Well, the guy that's in charge of NXT, the guy that's on the main writer on NXT, used to do a podcast out of Cleveland.
True, but from what I heard, Jacobs is actually writing for the main crew.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's not NXT stuff.
That would have been great, but no, they shipped him off to Stanford.
If he's the one behind some dodgy promo on Raw, he's going to get ripped.
Yeah.
Ripped a new asshole.
They'll probably throw him under the bus really quickly.
Yeah.
But he could write brilliance, you never know.
I'll have to see.
The match...
If any of that actually gets leaked out as to who wrote what.
Oh, I'm sure someone will gladly throw him under the bus if they feel like they need to in order to prevent from having that happen to them instead.
True.
Always quickly to pass the blame. So, Ryback and Luke Harper, a really good, short, but good physical match. Harper was in charge a lot. I like that. I like how he busts out his super kick.
It's just still a case of Ryback.
Yeah.
Born contender.
They're trying. They're really trying. It's like Vince is like,
yeah,
I've been trying to get this guy over, and if this doesn't happen again, we're just gonna fire him tomorrow.
I understand the people wanting to see new talents.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand why people hate on it when these new talents get pushed. A la sort of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, well...
But it's WWE's own fault for not doing it right.
Correct.
They need to have more of their finger on the pulse and realise when is the time to pull the trigger rather than do it when they feel like it, which could be way too early, a la Paige.
Yep.
Or way too late, a la Reigns.
And I also think they dropped the ball with Adam Rose and Bo Dallas, too. It wasn't time to come up yet. Honestly, it really wasn't.
Bo, I'm not sure about. Adam should have stayed down there a bit longer.
He was so over in Full Sail, and then they brought him to the main roster, and his shtick just did not get over with the crowd like it should have.
Well, because the Bo Lee thing was an absolutely dodgy gimmick.
Yeah, both of them got over, but when they got brought up to the main roster, it just kind of like, it pretty much exposed them.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm worried for any NXT person that gets brought up now, because if I'm worried what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I think Neville and the Lucha Dragons will be fine, but Charlotte, Tyler Breeze.
The thing is, by the looks of it, the Lucha Dragons are going with the same gimmick.
They are.
They aren't really having a gimmick change. That's why
the Ascension.
I'm sort of worried for Neville because the whole new cape thing.
Yeah. Neville man.
The Lucha Dragons, it helps that Sin Cara, the character, rather than, Hunico.
Yeah.
Being a thing, so we'll have to see when the next NXT talent comes up.
Well, it just depends on who it's going to be at this point. A lot of people are really wanting to see it be Charlotte. I don't think she's done with NXT yet. I mean, I'd like to see Tyler Breeze myself, but I don't think that he's done everything he can do in NXT yet either, so who knows what they're going to do with the bringing up the next talent.
The perfect time to bring Breeze up So when Zoolander 2 comes out.
I agree.
That would fit perfectly, because
I agree.
that is where that character comes from.
Totally.
Clearly, so...
Oh, yeah, it is.
If you want to get a guy over... And it also depends whether how good the movie is.
Yeah.
If the movie turns out to suck, you know...
I really think they could have worked a really great program with him and Fandango in NXT. Like a literal Zoolander program. I think that actually would have worked really well.
Apart from the bit we're trying to take over the world.
Yeah, well, that too. Well, Renee Young's in the back, and it's always nice to see Renee. She's with the... She needs to be on commentary. She really needs to be on commentary.
Yeah. Also, though, no sign of Dean Ambrose, so we know what was happening backstage. Hashtag Titty Master.
Oh, well. So the fans are still chanting New Day sucks. And...
Which, after that promo, yes.
Yeah. Slapping and clapping. Okay.
If we don't slap, then we snap. And, like, literally, the face that Xavier Woods was making was basically, I wish I was Consequences Creed again.
Yeah, get me out of here. They pushed me better in TNA. And they did. They really did. So
guy.
Yeah, I feel very sorry for Xavier Woods, because the guy's a very intelligent man. He has a degree, so he doesn't have to resort himself to this, but as long as he's having fun, I guess that's all that matters.
It's weird now when you think about that final season of NXT before it went to a program form.
Mm-hmm.
The only guy that really won from that was Derek Bateman, because he was in the other company now.
You want to talk about someone WWE dropped the ball with? That's exactly the first name I'm jumping to. We'll talk about him tomorrow. I'll talk about him tomorrow. So, when Impact returns to Pop, 2 episodes, because I was sick, so I wasn't able to do it in normal time. So, the New Day face off against the Lucha Dragons, which they finally do something that I've been wanting them to do for a long time. They put Xavier Woods and Big E as the team to face off against Kalisto and Sin Cara, making it legitimately a all NXT match. It was okay. Again, showcasing the Lucha Dragons more than anything else.
More Kalisto really doing his suicide dive when you got to the finish of the match.
Yeah, and the Salida del Sol connects, and then Sin Cara was tagged in, and the Sin Ton Bomb connects, which of course JBL is now doesn't care mode anymore. He's starting to call it the Swanton, so...
I just called it the Swanton because I can't... I lose track of that stuff.
Oh,
what the move is.
I named
give it another stupid name.
I like to rename moves. I'm sorry, that's me. Alright, let's get this Roman Reigns Big Show match out of the way, shall we?
Yeah, Big Show posing by his trophy again.
He hit the Vader Bomb.
Was it Vader Bomb? But no, yeah, it was Vader Bomb. No, it was a Swagger Bomb.
No, he hit the Vader Bomb because he did exactly the same way that Vader used to do it, and usually he does a Vader Bomb into an elbow that he always misses. This time he actually does a Vader Bomb.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's fair, but...
And nails an awesome baseball slide drop kick.
Where did that come from?
He probably was looking at his old New Japan matches, like when he used to do the tag work, and I was like, maybe I should break this out on Raw tonight. And he told Reigns, he's like, dude, I don't know about that. I'm going to sail pretty far when you hit me.
Yeah, when they cut to the barrier, that barrier, I think, moved 4 foot.
Someone else was ringside then.
Should be. You could see so much white floor.
Someone else had a ringside seat that didn't 5 minutes prior.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So he tosses him into the barricade because why not? Roman's in at 9, breaks the count. Punches him 11 times and hits a neck snap. 3 Superman punches, goes for a 4th, gets caught with a goozle, ducks the clothesline, spear, 1, 2, 3. Hashtag Owen doesn't care.
I can't necessarily concur, but you know, I think it should be hashtag ad nauseum.
SOS.
More appropriate.
Hashtag SOS.
Are you doing good? Oh wait, that's his old gimmick.
Yeah. Wow. So Kane's in the back, and he gets Natty, Summer Rae, Alicia Fox, and Cameron all like hugging up on him and try to get them to give Divas a chance, and so we're gonna get a #1 contender battle royal next week.
Have they literally done that just to like give the signal to the UK fans? Right, this is where you do the Mexican wave. Because I tell you, the crowd is not going to be interested in that.
Probably not.
Unless Paige or Naomi wins. And it will probably be them being the final two. You know, because if even Marie is in that match,
oh my god,
she isn't the first one eliminated. The crowd could just boo the match like Roman Reigns.
I'm really curious to see what the crowd's going to be like next week, honestly. Okay.
I wonder if the crowd is already practicing their Byron chants for the... Because obviously there's no Michael Cole.
You know, Roman Reigns shows up, and he's here to talk to Renee, and all of a sudden he goes from pissed off mode to, hey Renee, how's it going? Ambrose ain't here tonight. So he goes, Big Show couldn't stop me, wait to see what I do next, and apparently the next thing that he's going to do next involves his fist. And cocking his fist. He really needs to stop doing this, because could you imagine if you flipped on the USA Network at that time and that's the first thing you see watching wrestling for many years is a large man with wet, long hair cocking his fist over and over.
It's like the Funny or Die thing that I saw last week. All it needs is a Brazzers logo.
Yeah, totally.
A Vivid logo. And you're going, nope.
I'm turning this off, and I'm not going to turn it back on until
I'm not letting
never.
Little Jimmy see this. Or my son.
Yes. So Sheamus returns next against Mark Henry. Okay.
It made sense.
It did make sense.
I thought it could have been Ziggler or Bryan, but clearly, you know, they're resting them for SmackDown and
totally.
everything. And also because Sheamus thinks he's Russell Crowe.
Yeah, he did throw out the Gladiator reference. Are you not entertained?
Which I actually secretly love. That was one of the best bits. It was like, wow. Does this mean in 3 shows' time he thinks he's going to be, what's his name in Les Mis?
Hugh Jackman?
No,
that's Magnus.
The character.
That's Magnus and Hugh Jackman.
The character that. No, not Stu.
Javert.
Dujardin, but he was the guy that won.
It's Javert.
Yeah, Javert.
That's his character name. No, Hugh Jackman's Magnus.
I kept saying Dujardin, but he was the guy in the artist.
Yeah, Jean Dujardin. That's from the artist. I'll tell you right now, when I watched this match, it gave me some really like hardcore SmackDown flashbacks. One thing it really makes me excited about is the fact that there's a good possibility very soon we could get Sheamus and Samoa Joe. I really want to see that.
The Isle of Samoa versus the Emerald Isle.
Because I think it's going to be a really good, hard-hitting match, and I'm curious to see how it would actually work.
If you want to save that for the best time, wait till SummerSlam. Especially if you are in the New York, New Jersey area.
True.
For that whole week. Yeah, we know that the Manhattan, New York crowd do like a bit of Ring of Honor.
They do.
So just have him there would, I think, probably make at least 4 people mark out. 3 of those being from Sinclair Broadcasting Company saying, God damn it, our guy's actually on television.
I'll say right now, I can't say, yeah, I can guarantee this. It's April. I think Samoa Joe is definitely ingrained in either NXT or WWE programming by SummerSlam, without a doubt.
You're going to be somewhere on the product.
Yes. And
then it's like, we can't tell you his backstory. Buy the other company's DVDs.
We got this match between Samoa Joe and John Cena. They've faced off before, but we'll never tell you how, when, or how bad the match actually sucked.
Until the 4th John Cena DVD release comes out.
So, John, we're going to buy a Rick Bassman's UPW library. No, don't do that, please. See this match with Samoa Joe. I think you might be wanting to put that on DVD. No, Vince, please. I'll do whatever you want. I'll put over Hornswoggle at Madison Square Garden, whatever you want.
Well, given the way Madison Square Garden works, that would only be a house show, so that wouldn't happen.
Exactly. Bray Wyatt's promo.
Yeah,
I really want this to be Sting.
What's going on here?
I want this to be Sting so much.
I lose a match. Nah, I'm still going to go into a few. I think, considering what happened later on, and it's sort of, considering the way that they left it last week, it's sort of obvious who Rollins is facing. So, I don't want to say it, but I think most people know that Reigns isn't going over. I think it might be Reigns going into a feud with Wyatt.
God.
With the whole integrity and
dedication.
Yeah, dedication. You have to put Roman on the card somewhere in some sort of feud. And let's be honest, we don't want to see him versus Big Show again.
No.
Again.
No, but we're not the writers here, and the writers will probably put him against the Big Show again.
I feel sorry for the house show people.
God, no lie.
I think it's going to happen somewhere this week on the UK tour. And the crowd will be booing both of them, and the writers will be going, huh?
I really want to see that Big Show Ryback match from the NXT shows in Ohio.
That'll never get aired.
No, it won't. Ryback cuts a quick promo, says basically the big guy's hungry for the WWE Championship. Yeah, that worked so well before.
Yeah, but that time he was heel. So.
And he also was working with Punk, so... So they gave us Miz and Mizdow on free television with no build-up. That was brilliant.
Why have I heard this before?
Yeah, no lie. And the Miz yelling electric chair as loud as humanly possible before the spot happens on television.
Think I know what's appearing on Botchamania soon.
Yes.
People talk too much.
Grab the throat. So, yeah, awkward kicks again in this match. Miz gets the hook, the roll up with the tights, gets the 3 count off of it. We're going to build this. If there's two ways to look at this. We're going to build this till SummerSlam and blow it off. The problem is it's not in California this year. It's in New York. So, I mean, it's not going to have the same impact. But I think somehow this is going to lead to Damien Sandow coming back. Once he vanquishes The Miz once and for all. That he's the greatest actor of all time because he acted like he was The Miz for so long that he got everybody to believe that he thought he really was him. In actuality, he was Damien Sandow all along and proved that he was the smartest of everyone.
I don't know. I think they're going to work it more like, wow, this so-called movie stars' movies are going straight to video on demand.
They are.
Just want to remind you, the must-see movie star, his movie was so good, straight to video on demand. Not even straight to DVD.
No.
Because it has to go to video on demand first, before then going to DVD and video on demand, which I'm confused about.
I don't know how that stuff works, honestly.
It's on digital HD. What's the difference between digital HD and
free television?
Video on demand?
I don't know.
My theory is nothing. It's just...
Let's talk about the main event. Basically, the Authority came down just so Roman Reigns could dive on them. And the big
short main event as well.
Oh, it felt like a house show main event, actually. It was like the dark match after the television taping was over. Did you see the Big Show whiff the KO punch?
No.
He does it the first time. And then he clears the hair off of his face and goes up the ramp where the camera's paying attention and does it again.
At least nobody was flipping the bird.
Yeah. Apparently Roman dropped the F-bomb. Apparently Roman dropped the F-bomb during the matches.
Right.
So Orton gets a hold of Rollins, goes for the snakebite DDT, J&J attack, and of course Ryback tosses them aside, gives Noble a spine buster, and Ryback, for saving everyone from the evil J&J security, eats the RKO and gets pinned.
Yeah.
And then Orton ends up eating the curb stomp after the match is over, and Rollins stands tall to end Raw.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Heel champion.
A lot of superstars missed this show. And it kind of showed in some places. They did what they could with what they had. But it's definitely not as good as last week, without a doubt. And it was just kind of a mad edition of Raw. There was a couple of things that I enjoyed of it. Rollins and Neville was fun. I enjoyed that. Cena and Stardust was good. I like the physicality with Ryback and Harper, although I would have given at least 5 more minutes. The Lucha Dragons and the New Day was actually not bad. Sheamus and Mark Henry could have been worse, honestly. Miz and Mizdow, I don't understand why you give it away on free television, even if you're just going to do a short little match.
For me, the more positive thing was... it was consistently average.
Yeah.
Rather than like last week when you had the first 2 hours being, wow, this is really on par.
I'm so glad I'm back to recapping again.
And then that last hour when it was just,
oh dear God, another 6-man tag main event. It's like I'd never left.
Well, no, it wasn't. That wasn't the issue. It was just...
it's part of it.
It was just... some of the stuff in that last bit was more nonsensical than it had been even before the craziness of the build-up to WrestleMania.
So, where is Raw next week?
At the O2 in London.
Oh, God. Fun crowds.
Yeah, it's going to be a rare one for me next week because I'm not going to have to pay so much attention to it because I'll just mainly read the spoilers. I'll still watch it.
Yeah.
Doing this here, but I don't have to pay as strong attention to it as what I normally do, because that's when I declare my holidays.
Fair enough.
If Raw isn't live and it's like people can find out stuff by going to other sites, I don't think there's much purpose for me being there, because only about, I'd say, 1 in 4 of the internet wants to know what happens without spoilers.
True.
The other people just want to know, okay, where's the bit where I can legit go and take a leak?
Pretty much. Then you got people like me that has to write like a billion things down just so I can make sure something's coherent on camera, so. Yeah, this was average Raw. I mean, when I tuned out of Raw, it wasn't. I mean, it was a lot worse than this, without a doubt. There's a couple things I liked. I liked the new emphasis on the new talent like Adrian Neville and also the Lucha Dragons. I mean, I don't mind Randy Orton against Seth Rollins because I know the end game here is obviously not going to be Orton getting the title back. I really hope that Money in the Bank will somehow... I know it won't, but I'd love to see Money in the Bank go to either Wade Barrett or Bray Wyatt. It's what needs to happen. I really want Bray Wyatt to work with Sting. I've been wanting that for a long time.
The problem is, if Bray Wyatt can't extinguish The Undertaker, how would he be able to extinguish Sting?
That's why I thought that Bray Wyatt and Sting should have been the SummerSlam match, and then we build to WrestleMania for the match against The Undertaker.
Yeah, that's something that could happen, like Undertaker sort of makes the save.
Yep.
And then we get an impromptu WrestleMania sign, and Undertaker just looks at it. I don't know.
Harper rejoins Bray Wyatt.
No. Harper is good enough on his own.
I agree completely, but, I mean...
Rowan needs Harper more... Sorry, Rowan needs...
something.
Wyatt more than anything.
Rowan needs something.
Yeah.
Because something tells me that if we get another fire spree, Eric Rowan may be on that list. If they don't get something for him soon.
Still can't believe Rowan being in that Survivor Series event. It really was a case of...
right place, right time?
No, why?
Well, he was in there right when they were like, well, we need another person on the team. Why don't we pick Eric Rowan? Okay, sure.
Yeah, but it still doesn't... whatever.
Yeah, totally. So that was Raw for this week. It was average. Chris Jericho did a live podcast afterwards with John Cena.
Corey Graves said the internet would be pissed off. I think quite a lot will be, because they will probably think that he's softened up a bit.
Just a bit.
Because there weren't a lot. There was a couple of interesting questions.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see Cena's reply, like the steroids thing.
Cena came off really likable, too.
Yeah, which I think was part of the thing.
I'm sure it was.
But then the main thing is, I would, those people went, oh, it wasn't the Austin podcast.
It's not going to be.
It was meant to be.
No.
I think it was, like with the Austin podcasts, it's the interviews you will never hear anywhere else.
Very true.
Because you aren't going to have outside of the stage-managed NBC Today shows or whatever.
True.
You aren't going to get, like, radio interviews with Triple H or Vince McMahon or Cena or whoever they have lined up next, depending on who it is. It'll be interesting to see who is next on the docket when they have their next live podcast thing.
Maybe Sam Roberts could. He'd be the closest.
I think they'll stick with the wrestlers in the business. Because practically every one of them has a podcast.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Probably means Ric Flair will be doing one soon.
That is true, actually.
Yeah, no, but I mean, the Ric Flair podcast will come over to WWE Network for a one-off. Or something like that.
Have him interview Hogan?
Possibly.
That'd be entertaining. Or Steamboat?
Probably not Jim Ross.
No.
Goldberg got a podcast, doesn't he? I can't remember. Practically everybody now has a podcast.
Yeah.
Only person we can confirm that won't be on is probably Cole Cabana.
Poor Cole Cabana. But his podcast, dude.
I think he's making money elsewhere, don't worry.
Yeah, he's okay now. There's no worries. He's not going to sleep in a cardboard box and eat discarded pizza crusts. No, he's fine. He's just fine right now. So, that's basically what we've got for Raw tonight. Ashley, any other things you want to bring up real quick?
I really hope you just do the entire show in a British accent next week, because they're going to be in London.
I do have a British accent. The character.
Oh, blimey, Governor.
The character's name is actually.
Gone and done it.
Actually, the character's name is Nigel, but I don't want to do that on camera.
Uh-oh.
Because if I lose the accent, then it's going to be like, well, that's over now. I have to hit stop, so. Yeah, we'll also be focusing, of course, on the pay-per-view at the end of this month for Extreme Rules and the next NXT TakeOver event on top of the Raw broadcast. I don't know if we'll ever
the NXT TakeOver event is.
Yeah.
We know that yet, do we?
I haven't heard anything yet. My friends actually get tickets to it pretty quick, so once I find out, I'll let you guys know. I did an NXT video actually yesterday, so that video is on the channel currently. You want to check out my thoughts on the last 2 weeks of NXT. Just like I'll be doing with Impact tomorrow. So, as always, if you'd like to catch Ashley in his regular segment here on Pop, you're more than welcome to check out Gaming with Ash every Saturday. Sometimes we have schedule errors, but I let you guys know in advance, and it always gets taken care of. Ashley, any tidbits on what we're going to get this week?
It sort of depends what comes through, but I don't know. It could be. I've got some feelings on possibly game distribution.
I thought you were going to say Gamergate. I was like, no.
No.
Stay away.
I did that once, and can't be bothered to go back to it because it just is too complicated.
True.
It's, it's like booking Eva Marie in a bra and panties match. It's too complicated.
Yeah.
No, basically just the whole idea of people getting games ludicrously early.
Okay, fair enough. Like breaking street date, stuff like that?
Well, just because the fact that today alone, a week ahead of release, I am seeing a crap ton of Mortal Kombat X videos. And I'm like, how?
Yeah, no lie. My friends haven't got it yet. They pre-ordered. So,
I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway.
Also, you can catch Ashley on his part of a regular podcast called The Whole Indie Show, which you can check out on the SNS Radio Network. Ashley, does it have dates that it actually runs on, or is it just whenever you guys get one up?
It's normally up on Fridays.
Okay.
To try and chronicle the last week and the upcoming weekend.
So, once you're finished with AJ's movie reviews, if you want to listen to wrestling talk, Ashley will take care of you.
By take care of you, we don't mean, horse head in the bed.
At least as far as I know, we don't. Gets a little bit kind of murky in those waters sometimes. So,
I'm getting really worried.
I'm sure the crowd is too. Once again, Ashley, thank you for joining us for tonight. I know it's like, what, 5 a.m. where you are?
7.
7.
As of recording.
It is about 2 a.m. here right now, honestly, so I'll try to get this video up, but I gotta work at like 11:30, so that's gonna be fun. Next week, join us for yet another edition of Owen and Ashley Talk WWE Raw. That's gonna be your regular deal on Tuesday. Now, I will say right now that the reason that we had to go a little bit later than normal is because of the Jericho podcast. I would say next week we'll probably start like 11:15 as soon as Raw's over, if I had to guess.
Well, yeah, because it's an overseas show, Raw will be exactly 3 hours. It will end at the top of the third act, or the top of the final hour, should I say? So hopefully it's better.
Yeah, no lie. Hopefully. I know the crowd's going to definitely be better. Real quick, programming note for tomorrow, we're going to be doing Impact Wrestling. Thursday, brand new Sip and Snack. We're going to be focusing on Red Bull and editions of Red Bull. Friday, AJ's Movie Reviews will be tackling some limited releases that you probably have not heard of, but you probably need to check out, including a horror film that most people haven't heard of yet called Spring. And there's that Nick Sparks movie that's wide release that doesn't matter, but we'll talk about that later. Saturday, Ashley returns with Gaming with Ash. Sunday, brand new cryptic comment for Versus is divorce. Yeah, I like this one, to say the least. And, of course, Monday will bring you the new day for NXT recaps. Tuesday will be your new day, not a new day, not the new day, but...
Sucks.
Exactly.
That was Twitch.
Owen and Ashley talk WWE Raw, and of course, Wednesday will bring you the new day of Impact Wrestling. Thursday, brand new Sip and Snack. Friday, AJ's Movie Review. Saturday, Gaming with Ash, and Sunday, Versus. So, continue to watch Pop. If you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. If you like what you see, like what you hear, then like our Facebook fan page at Sir Owen Disney Pop, or Sir Owen Disney and Pop if you want to search for it without like typing in anything other than just actual words. Friend request.
Lazy.
Yeah, exactly. If you're very lazy. Friend request me at Owen Disney, or you can friend request Ashley if you'd like to at Ashley Richardson. He also can be found at AshIsMyNameUK, and you can tweet me as well at Sir Owen Disney. Ashley, do you have an email people can get a hold of you with?
Yeah, you can use the sticks at snsradionetwork.com one.
Sounds good. And you can also email me, siroandisney@gmail.com. Ashley, thank you again for joining us in the wee hours of the morning on a Tuesday for talking WWE Raw again.
Woo!
Any parting words, sir?
Maybe.
Just maybe.
Yeah.
Right on. That being said, thank you guys and girls out there for watching tonight. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.